Today, we're going to answer the question, does the American government care about you? So as most people can see that the economy is doing worse while the government is helping the average American citizen less throughout the year. The most notable fact is prices that keep going up and crime has reversed in trend over since the pandemic. Many small to medium businesses went underwater while large corporations made record-breaking profits and tax breaks while the average citizen was slowly being financially ruined. Like for example, you look at companies like Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. Look how they did during the pandemic. Now, the government claims that they are helping the American taxpayer by changing the threshold for the IRS tax brackets, but at the same time, they don't lower taxes for investments or add inflation to the calculation when changing the tax bracket, as I mentioned in previous videos I've made before. So this is just one of many egregious moves to hide the fact that the politicians just pocket the money in this case. Just look at the statements that the politicians make to divide the American people, and the politicians that make investments that beat the stock market over 200% in returns, which is better than the best financial institutions. Now, both sides, Republicans and Democrats, both do this. Now, the question is now what they can do to help the current situation instead of pointing fingers at each other and wasting all of our taxpayers' money in this case. It is not a foolproof solution, but since this is America, we are bound to try new things and stop repeating failures, hopefully. Well, in this case, hopefully the politicians will do something better. So how can the government do to help fight inflation, increase the cost of living expenses, and raise the standard of living in this case? So firstly, the main goal is to make modern day economy grow. That is their main goal. Like for example, you got water and power and electricity can be more affordable so that businesses such as F&B, food and beverages that take a lot of water or power can be more accessible and affordable to the younger generation of entrepreneurs to start up their businesses. Electricity could be cheaper if they use more efficient sources. You got electricity ranging from nuclear to affordable solar energy in this case. However, this becomes a huge problem when other big businesses are monopolizing this crucial resource. Government service jobs can help by outsourcing most of the lucrative jobs to other countries instead of using other methods such as AI or reforming tax laws for lowering wage workers that hurt them. By creating more incentives for these jobs can help better lower income earners. So then going down the list, you got number 2, which America really lacks, is better public transportation. Better public transportation can heavily improve by giving priority to buses, trams, and other vehicles on the road, thus simply improving customer satisfaction and safety. Now, by optimizing transport gates and having more intuitive and user-friendly gate design, improving accessibility for everyone by helping out disabled people with issues traveling around due to the physical hardship and lack of solutions, or low-income neighborhoods that cannot afford cars and typically are unable to access work opportunities around their neighborhood. And to be fair, but to counter the fact is more people are now working at home and don't have to travel as much, so meaning less clothing, less consumption, and less spending in general. Now, breaking down that point is there's a lot of other options where the consumer can save money, but this is just a portion of it. Now, which brings us to number 3. Elimination of red tapes for smaller and medium-sized businesses. Because big businesses have a way too much power hurting the smaller players, red tapes could be, let's say, lowering taxes and state registration for startup businesses. Because red tapes are a big key factor whether or not a small business can succeed or not. Because you think about it, there's a lot of people who talk about financially how businesses only have about a 5% chance to succeed within 3 years. The other 95% all fail. So this is a huge step up which they could make. On the next, what the government can do to help people increase their standard of living and fight inflation is learning about financial education. For example, core classes in college should include basic finances to better help them survive in the real world when they enter the workforce, and how to create startup businesses, which usually means how and where they can register with the state and understanding how to set up shop. For example, if someone wants to start up a business that creates phones instead of building, like let's say, out of the country, then how do you do that? Where do they find the suppliers? Where do they get the knowledge from? That would be an ideal for a startup business, where government should encourage innovation and development to help to transform smaller businesses, such as giving out grants for better financially support the current market needs. And for example, another one that could help out is rising food costs, where more innovative solutions could help lower the food price. And the best example of this is when we all go out and eat, we noticed that back in 2010 and compared to now, 2024, food prices has changed drastically. Now, with all that being said, the government could help lower prices of goods and services by help increasing the supply or the majority of the population income to surpass inflation and reach your goal target of 2% inflation per year, which they're currently on target, but in reality, the price of goods and services is still not on target. So what do you guys think about the video? What do you guys think about the government trying to help out by increasing supply and trying to lowering demand forcefully in this case? But personally, I don't think they're doing enough. And if you don't think they're doing enough, drop a comment down below and click the subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time.